Hey guys, it's Carly from All the Pretty Books, obviously, and I'm back for another video. I hope your last week was great, and I hope that so far your year is going so well for you guys. Mine's going very well. I've got some great stuff going on, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to talk about an edition that is one of my favorite editions, and it doesn't get a lot of airtime for, I'm honestly not sure why. It's one that I actually don't talk a lot about either, so I'm just as guilty. It's not even uploaded on my website yet, so gotta get on that. But it is the gift edition published by Bloomsbury, UK. I love the colors on these books. This edition to me is so colorful. I actually call the books my jelly beans because they remind me so much of jelly beans with all the different colors. It's very vibrant. It's very happy. And this edition, this set makes me smile. For obvious reasons, the books were released in slipcases, so not a box set of these, which would be very strange and very large, but all of them are released, and they weren't released at the same time, and usually they were released starting in, I think, mid 2015 and finished up in July of 2017 with Deathly Hallows. This edition was illustrated by Johnny Duddle, who did some other very, very well-known cover art for Bloomsbury. And the cover art is found on not only the Bloomsbury UK books, but also translations all over the world. As this book from Poland will show you. Isn't it great? And the backside. And just a quick aside, I've talked about editions quite a bit, what constitutes a first edition and so on, so I'm not going to go into that here, but just know that this is not a first edition. This set aren't first editions, they're just beautiful gift editions, and that you can indeed have first prints without them being a first edition. This is a first print of the gift edition. All of the books, I happened to get all of them as they came out off Amazon UK, because you can't buy directly from, or you couldn't at the time, I don't know if you can now, but if you lived in the US, you couldn't buy directly from Bloomsbury UK, so I just bought mine off of amazon.co.uk when they came out, and all of 7 of mine are first prints. Let's get into what the books look like. All of them have the same illustration on the front of the slipcase. And then on the backs of the slipcase, they have a key figure from that particular book. So here we have Hedwig and the letter. I think this back illustration is my favorite of them all. And then the books themselves are different colors, as you saw earlier. I love the purple and orange. I love the color combinations throughout, honestly. And you have the same design that's on the back of the slipcase on the front. They have ribbon bookmarks, which I love a good ribbon bookmark, honestly. And the ribbon bookmark matches the color of the slipcase. And again, I love the purple and black pairing together. Of this set, I think book 7 is my absolute favorite. With the color pairing, I love the back design. I love the gold on the black and the purple. It's just a phenomenal color combination for what we've got going on these books. Blah. And each of the books has the same illustration on the front and back of the books. That's in all 7 of them. Also, all 7 of the books have this map on the inside. I really enjoy the gift edition, like I said at the start. Out of all of the Harry Potter books that Bloomsbury has produced, it is up there with my favorites. Not only for the different colors of the books, and they all go well together as a set. You can buy Order of the Phoenix, let's say, if you only want a book 5 because it's your favorite. And it doesn't feel weird just sitting there up on a shelf being a book 5. It doesn't, I mean, you know it's a part of a set if you know anything about Harry Potter, but it doesn't look like it's missing 6 other books. And I really do appreciate that. Sometimes when you see other cover art, whether they make an image, like a cohesive image on the spine, or you just know it's supposed to be a part of a bigger set, I feel like you can buy these as a gift independently without getting the whole 7 of them if that's not what you want, and not feel necessarily like you're missing out. And I do appreciate that at Bloomsbury's effort to try to do something very different. I love this edition as far as like the creativity of it. Some of the things that I would have preferred for these books, you know, like I said, all 7 have that same illustration on the front and the back, and then they have the same map. I would have preferred a different illustration on the front and the back paste down area instead of all 7 having the same. That's just me, and I do understand that that would potentially raise cost of the book to find and license different art potentially, or create different art. So I do understand that. I would have also loved internal illustrations, even at chapter parts or in important parts of the stories. I would have enjoyed internal art, but again, internal art gets very expensive for a number of reasons. Not only just the creation and printing of it, because that's more ink, but also the creation of, potentially licensing of, you know, buying the art from the illustrator and all of that goes into that. So I understand that that would raise the cost of the books. And I bought book 1, you know, Philosopher's Stone, in 2015 for about £30, I want to say, and then I had to have it shipped over. So, I mean, it wasn't the cheapest book to buy, is the point. And the same for all 7, because I had to do all 7. So I had to buy them individually since there wasn't a box set, and shipping costs were what they were. So I do understand that internal art, different art, would up the cost of the books. It's just something, I love art. That's one of the reasons that I collect Harry Potter translations from all over the world and different cover art in general, is I love art. So I would have preferred to see more of it, and I would have paid a little bit more to have it. But I understand why they left it out. I also feel that this edition was meant to be kind of like candy for the eyes. That's kind of why I call them my jelly beans. So I feel like internal art would have continued the, you know, visual treat more so, but they didn't. So I'm not going to complain. The books are beautiful as they are. We do this on the podcast, and I actually, being a book collector, one of the things that I do, I love to smell my books. I know that's strange for some of you guys, but I also have met plenty of book collectors and people who just love the tangibility of the book, who love to smell their books. So this guy to me doesn't have the best smell. It's kind of gluish. If we were to put it on the tot scale or translation of the show scale that we put the books through on the podcast, it would be acceptable. It's there. It's not great. And some more downsides of this set, or of the books in general, is the material in which they're made. I feel like these are meant to be more like, definitely meant to be up on a shelf, not necessarily carried around and read, because they don't handle wear very well. Like I said, I bought all my books off amazon.co.uk, so they had to be shipped internationally. And amazon.co.uk, I have not had the best luck with them, with books being shipped to me in the best arrival condition. And that is definitely true for my Order of the Phoenix. It arrived with this big dent here and there, and then all the scuffing on the bottom, because the material of the slipcase just isn't very sturdy. It is very pretty. It is not meant to be poorly packaged and shipped, which is what happened when Amazon mailed it to me. And you also see some of that translate into, or some of the bumping translate. I don't know if you'll see it very well, but like the corner there, it got bumped because that corner got pretty bumped when it was being shipped. So you have some, you know, creasing there from the bumps. And that's frustrating. The boards of the books are, I think, made out of the same material or similar material as the slip cases. And they're pretty, they're not very durable, I think is what I'm trying to say with way too many words. And that, they're not cheap books to buy even right out the gate. So that's kind of annoying when I'm spending, you know, $50-ish per book to buy the full set. I would like a little bit more sturdy material. It's pretty, but, right? So that's kind of my qualms. Also, the books, they feel, I mean, it feels like a book. This one's really heavy, but I mean, it's book 5. But even when I open it, I don't want to open it too far because it's not really been opened and flipped through. I don't know how it would read if I were to try to read this edition, if it would, you know, easily be readable. I don't know. So that again leads me to say that these were more meant to sit on a shelf and look pretty rather than be used. And while I definitely am a book collector and I love pretty books, obviously by my name and by my collections, I like books that are also made with the idea of being read in mind, because ultimately that's why we buy books, is to read them. So I don't know how this would wear being read, or how it would look with being read through, if it would spine lean, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure that the quality on these is the best, I think is, again, what I'm trying to say. So that's, again, that's annoying to spend a decent amount of money for brand new books that we don't know long term how they're going to be in the collectability market, and they're not super well made. You know what I mean? Speaking of value, though, what are these guys valued at? And I honestly haven't paid too much attention since I bought mine new from Amazon, but I did flip through eBay, sold not too very long ago, just to kind of see where things are sitting. And eBay, whether we like it or not, the solds are what help determine the market for so many different things. A first print set, meaning all 7 books were first prints of the gift edition, sold in November of last year, so 2024, for about $2,450, free shipping. So that's roughly $350 a book. That feels like a lot to me for first prints of these. I don't know, though. I don't know how many first prints of these were made, and I don't know the demand for first prints of this edition, and it's the demand that, you know, will help set the price. But that feels like a lot to me. However, it did sell. I don't know how long they were sitting up there, because I haven't been paying that much attention, like I said a minute ago, but it did sell. So there is that. Later print set of these sold for $305 plus $50-ish in shipping. So that's about $50 a book. So that's not too bad. You know, if you're estimating in shipping, you know, for buying each one individually, I might have paid more for the set to buy them all individually than this person did. So $350 for a later print set isn't too bad. Again, they're later prints. I don't know the demand or value really of the first prints, other than that sold listing for $350 a book, or about $2,450 from the month prior. But that's where we are for value. Importantly, if you just want the books, you can still find them on eBay. They're not first prints, but I went through and I found most, if not all, on eBay. I didn't even check Amazon UK or Amazon US. I just found most of them up on eBay for about $50. Again, they're going to be way later prints, but you can still buy them. So if you're not picky about print, you can still grab the book or books that you would like. And lastly, but not leastly, we still have forgeries that are being sold in the marketplace, like this guy right here that just sold for $500 and is a definite forgery. And I've also received a lot of emails from so many people who are just now seeing my forgery videos that I made in 2019 or so, asking about J.K. Rowling signed Harry Potter books. And happily, Adam, who's a great collector friend of mine, he's phenomenal. He's got a great eye. He offers a wonderful service to Harry Potter signature collectors. His website, I'm going to include the link down below. It's the Harry Potter Specialist. And he is definitely the only person I'd recommend to authenticate Harry Potter J.K. Rowling signed books. He's fabulous. So send your questions his way. You're not going to get a better answer than from him. He's phenomenal. And I'll put his contact details down below. Don't forget to check out the podcast that I co-host with Melanie and Eric, Dialogue Alley. I'll put those details down below as well as other ways to reach me through Instagram, email, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. If you have questions about collecting Harry Potter, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. I'd never mind answering. And yeah, with that, I'm going to say stay magical. Stay wonderful. Thanks for watching and happy collecting. Good night.